What's up guys, how's it going? This is Daniel. I'm in the office here and today I want to check the video of review of consultation for the moving services in my city, San Diego. Found out like these two dudes are talking about business that I actually own in a city that I own. So this is really interesting. I'm gonna give a couple details on some advice. There's some things I agree with, there's some things I disagree with, most of the things. So yeah, it's a great video, check it out. And then in the end of this video, I'm gonna say what steps did I take and what I would do if I was the company of that size that one of the participants of that video has, to grow it a little bit, and what I personally did. So again, check it out. I'm a big nerd when it comes to home service business, marketing, and so on. So here I took my time and check all the videos and just kept talking. So all right guys, check it out. What's up guys, how's it going? This is Daniel and today I have something new, some new type of deal. I noticed there's a video about moving company in San Diego that one of the coaches posted here. I want to give a couple comments how everything works and what do I think about this kind of offers and what's the guy talking about from perspective, boots on the ground perspective, actually, from the person who's actually doing this work in San Diego. Our company booked more than $1.2 million jobs in last year in the city. So I'm gonna agree with some of the points. I'm gonna disagree with a lot of stuff that this coach is saying. So just let's start and then we'll go from there. All right. This is, I guess, this is. First, I want to say this is a really great show. It's filmed really professionally. This guy is very friendly. It seems like he's very good on camera. I'm not sure about their movie company. I've heard it a couple times, but I'm not. Yeah, I'm not to know too many details about this. So let's see the marketing breakdown here. So-called marketing reports. You can see a lot of marketing reports and maybe in my previous videos. But let's go and check it out. So here we have our Craigslist ads, referrals, return customers, Google Maps, and SEO. Whew. Okay, so here we have Google Maps and SEO. Basically, it seems like these people are doing mostly deliveries, some type of one-item delivery, possibly things where they could collect a lot of reviews from all these smaller deliveries and also bigger jobs as well. And then they would have a great Google My Business profile, and then they would just pay SEO guy and Google Maps guy to rank them higher when people search for movers, and that's how they got 41% of their revenue. So Craigslist ads, we run Craigslist ads in San Diego. Our booking rate at $129 per hour is like trash, and we almost never book the jobs, even though our guys book some months 150,000 worth of work. So I don't know at which rate they book. 21% of business from Craigslist ads. You could be booking it from the lower rate. But again, let's continue reviewing that. So return customers 16%. This is good, more or less. We get referrals, which is 9%. So that's what you could track. So if we notice, we got here what 41 plus 21, 62 plus 30, 25 will be, and then I guess the rest will be just all different other sources. Okay, so that's not too bad. I mean, when we were running and around $30,000 per month, 30,000, I was doing basically similar thing, maybe Craigslist. That was one also thing was a group one for old school people who can remember this. Then I was running some other things, right? So let's continue watching that. So he pays for SEO. SEO actually really good. If we can go back, SEO actually SEO is really good because you own that ranking for a certain period of time. So if you pay for the ad, you do not own. It's just gone. But if you pay for SEO, you own that ranking for a little bit. So it's actually not that bad if all he does is a SEO. SEO. All right. Okay, so here we go and talk about affiliates. Okay, so about the realtor affiliates. So in the moving industry, we found out there's four types of affiliates. In our area, those are going to be storage units, assisted living facilities, apartment complex managers, and realtors. So realtors is only one part of this people rep who gonna refer you to their clients. Okay, so some people happen to get a lot of business from realtors, mainly due to personal connection with them. So you have to go and actually in person and like the people, and they have to like you, they have to trust you, and you have to, as Alex said, he said later in the video, you have to bring donors to their office, chat, ask how their dog name, what's their dog's name, what's their children, how the children doing, and they go into school and so on and so forth, and try to find common things with people, and then do it all days for months and months and months and months to build a good realtor system. So the types, it requires to be a special type of person, and it seems like this guy is just a really good fit for him to do that type of activity, which is he's very, he likes presentation a lot, so that's really good. Me personally, I'm a little bit on the opposite side. I like numbers. I like sitting somewhere in the office. I'm not, but I could do that as well. We've been doing that a lot as well. All right. So this is the main issue. Basically, we do not have enough leads, right? Because with good service, double of the leads, double of the jobs, double the trucks or crews, but demand isn't there yet. So how can you fix it? Let's see. May have to sound. Switch sound. Okay, well, yeah. So he's saying he needs. All right, so let's go to the main thing. Here, this guy is saying the offer needs to be really good and it's not process. And this is really actually, let's check the offer. Let's see what's the offer looking like. Okay, so here I have a rough breakdown of this offer. Sec. Alright guys, so let's continue watching. So Alex says that the first offer should be basically VIP packing service plus there's gonna be let me just check. I'm flipping. I'll just snap a picture. Oh, see. Advice that this coach gave the moving company owner, and we're gonna see what's up with this advice. Okay, so first advice, I have my notes in here. He said that the offer, architecture, commodity versus value. So he need to
change the offer from commodity to value. So from hourly rate, like let's say $165 per hour, to like a value, which is $1,000. We take care of everything, right? So there is one problem with that, as a moving company owner mentioned, that once you tell them it's going to be $1,000, now the amount of stuff going to be double and triple, and then the people get upset in the end. But if you ask them the real amount of stuff on the first sales call, they never buy with you. So you could actually make it work. We think that's a really great idea, and I personally try to do this. I think we're gonna try to do this at some point, but as of now, it's really difficult. It needs a really good system, sales system, how to explain people and how to upsell them on all these additional items before the job starts. Okay, so let's go and check the other thing. It says the VIP tier, pack, master movers, materials included. Include this on every call. So I tell you how it's gonna go. When you say packing, do you need packing? 99% people gonna say no, I don't need packing. So right there, you're gonna say no right off the bat. Now you have master movers. This is actually a really good idea. I think we have to steal it from him, but I think this is a really good idea. Then materials included, yeah. We noticed, we tested, we take about 500 calls 1 month with materials included, where we say people actually that all materials included. We get 500 calls where we say materials are not included, and the booking rate change, you know how much? Is 0. So people do not care on a phone call if materials are included or not. So basically, very rare case scenario, people understand what is actually needed to be done to wrap the furniture and so on and so forth. They move every 6 years on average, so they do not understand that, then they do not want to buy it, and it's very difficult to sell this thing. And even if your competitor picks up the phone and says this guy gonna charge you additional for materials, it's still very difficult to transfer and book this person with you, even though there's a very logical and clear explanation that you're gonna pay more. And then, like, let's say if your main objection was to save money, it's still very difficult to explain why they have to use these materials, and maybe they're not gonna use the materials, maybe they just throw it in a truck and I just tell them it's all good and so on. So in this case, packing is not a great idea, and materials does not make any change in people's sales call. So the movers is really great. Probably gonna steal it. All right, so, and then the standard tier, after that you go to the standard tier. So basically, here's the deal, bro. You say VIP tier, and by the time you finish with your VIP tier, you give them the second to understand. You're gonna see 50% of people just hang up the phone and say, oh, okay, what's your name? Let me call you back. Boom. We lost a lead. And when the lead is $300, those leads can go a long way. So we noticed that by saying, that thing up front and then downselling them for standard tier we're gonna get rid of a lot of people that we would have booked if we tell them our regular price right away. So it also depends on which lead source you take in. So if you take the lead source, like let's say if you buy a lead for $10 and $195, they just hang up on you, and that's all. But this guy, as we can see, he attempt to go collect all the leads from all these different places like realtors, meetings, SEO, and so on. So that can actually work a little better for him. But it's very difficult to implement, and we actually attempt to implement that, and it never worked in our company. Maybe there is a way that we can adjust it. We just haven't found it yet. All right, and the third point in here was the price match frame. About the price match frame, of course, we agree with Alex. That's a way to true price matching. Of course, this is not good for you if you match the price. Yeah, like that. Well, here we have, they say, planted seeds of doubt. If people say, oh, the price is too high, you would need to plant seed of doubt. Say, well, we hired because of the reason we have professional movers, the other guys have bad movers. So actually, we tested this over a lot of calls, maybe even thousands of calls over many months. And what ends up happening is it's very difficult to convince that your movers are better than the other guy's movers, because there's a lot of these companies. You'd be surprised how many of these companies that is just one guy works with his friend or brother or his wife is picking up the phone calls, and they all have 500-star reviews. And then once you talk to the people, you say, oh, but we charge twice as much as that person because our guys are great and they're not from the prison, or they're not from Home Depot parking lot, or so on. We found that very difficult to convince people, and over hundreds and thousands of calls, we couldn't convince enough people to justify doing this. So we just get rid of this thing. So basically, check house, you have 5 children, you have this and that, you get someone from the prison, go check your underwear and all your stuff and all your belongings. Maybe they find something like a jewelry or cash or whatnot. So you could probably plant the seed of a doubt that way, but just on a regular sales call, it's going to be very difficult to convince people to get 65 or $75 per hour higher rate, just because the issue can be with the movers. And also, a lot of other moving companies have a lot of great reviews. Not our moving company, but a lot of smaller moving companies can have many hundreds of great reviews as well. So for that, it's not even going to be logical to say that their movers are from prison, but they got 500 5-star review as well. So sometimes it's very difficult to convince people on this. All right, so let's go ahead and check. Yeah, so they say, I don't care. Like when they say, oh, you okay with them breaking, I get hundreds and hundreds of calls. They say, I don't care. And not only one person, we did it for multiple sales representatives. We did it multiple variations of script. We did it multiple variations of intonation and different wording that you can say this phrase. They're gonna break your stuff. And guess what? No one cares. 99 people out of 100 say, well, I just trash it. I don't care. It's just all cheap. My stuff is garbage. And yeah, that's the response you would get. Of course, you need to make sure you build a report with this client. You're not just saying it in a random way. Again, this is very difficult to convince the client unless it's a very busy day and they move in once in a lifetime. So this is good, actually. Well, this is actually great advice, I think. That's what we did with the realtors. We go there and we say them, well, we get you some type of offer to your clients. We give 1 month free storage, or we give 50 free boxes for the client. or we give them discount for distance move if they move in that way. So some clients who already buying their home. So yeah, this is VIP thing is really good. I think with realtors is gonna be working a little more better than with just the regular leads. That yeah, this is true. Every realtor. So we do following and DM them, and also we'll post a story. Sometimes we even what we do, we get we get a salesperson review the listing that went on the market for today, and we'll say, well, this estimate gonna take 10 hours, so and so, and then congratulations with new listing, we'll help you sell it soon, and we tag the realtor in a story. Sometimes that works, they follow us back, and then we'll be able to text them and get in contact that way. So yeah, DM is a really way to go with realtors. Yeah, SMS is difficult.
Not there, but I would think that was that each sort of art audience or and it's all of them for money and it's every day out to get better for you. The kid going to somebody they follow you there innocent of like so could you there's two considerations. So one is we could say follow every and then anyone follows back, then you that's what I'm thinking. Or you just automatically get 10 get your bed night. That's she said just like picking up the top of the honey. Can she you got
So this is we did test this a lot actually. We did that pick top 100, and we also pick all of them. So here's the question, because if you gonna get a boat, you probably can get all of them, right? But if you wanna show up with the donuts, you probably don't want to show up with the donuts to people who are like newer, or like let's say they will respond you on Instagram, but their realtor's address would be their home address, right? So it's not the brokerage and so on. You're gonna see a lot of those, like maybe half of the people they just have their home address. They just self-employed people. They don't sit in brokerage, actual brokerage. So what ends up happening is uh, if you want to text them, probably can get a boat. But if you want to actually do something with them, we started with 100 actually. So let's go to the next one. Check it out. And actually we did really great results because we brought people, one of the best people in San Diego who sell their homes, and they did recommend us a lot of work after that. Sure.
which is it. Yup.
Usually how this works is when you show up to the one of those realtors brokerage places, there's a person sits in the front. So is either that person is a manager of that facility, of the brokerage of that location, or either that is the other person who's the manager of that facility. So either it's a front person or the manager, the actual manager, right? So what you want to do, you want to get the manager's number, right, and contact the manager. But the thing is that these managers, they have all the vendors, they have the sponsored lunches. So usually you would pay $500, you would buy food to everyone, and you would become a sponsor for their lunch, and then you have like 5-10 minutes to pitch them this thing that you do, your VIP package, your whatever offer you have. So the thing is, like once we start doing those lunches, after 5 or 10, they're not super effective. We did pitch our like great offer, whatever, 50 free boxes. Maybe not that great as this particular offer, maybe a little bit different from what they got. And what ends up happening that we spend around $5,000, we get business for maybe around $10,000. So it was not like actually people sell what she was saying, like every brokerage sells 6 deals a month, right? So it's not like if you talk to your main brokerage guy, everyone's going to recommend you, right? Because keep in mind, half of their realtors, they have their nephew who owns a truck, and then they do the staging on the side and they move it themselves. And you're going to have like only a couple of people who actually can recommend you. And then 95% of realtors are not doing any sales, unfortunately. So that's going to be what number Alex says in here. If you get one brokerage, you get 6 deals per month or 6 deals per quarter. This is absolutely, I think, in my personal opinion, is not realistic. And maybe she's going to have better luck. Again, we tested over 2,000 realtors in San Diego area. We did about 1,500 visits, 3 visits to each realtor in our area. In the brokerage, we did about 10, 15 lunches, sponsored lunches, where we give away all the cars, follow up with people, and we didn't get great results. And people who did that as well, our friends, didn't get great results so far. I know it's certain areas where it's like a smaller town, maybe it's like 100 realtors and everyone knows each other. Maybe it's gonna be a little bit easier. Maybe it was the person who was doing it. Maybe she's gonna have a better result since he's well spoken and seems like a very nice person. So yeah, I think the numbers a little bit different than he was saying.
Yeah. Like that.
Yeah. That's not true. You go get flights, you go to every brokerage, you get their business cards, you email them, you follow up with call them, this and that, and you get maybe one booking in next 3 months. And you do another one and another one and another one. And in theory, if you do it for long enough, for 2-3 years, you could get to 5 a month. But these numbers are not accurate, unfortunately.
Like that.
Yeah, again, 60 years. Okay, so here's the issue I see with this affiliate program. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you right away. So he wants to make a sales representative person to go and do this kind of customer calls, brokerage deals, packages, whatever. So what ends up happening is the salesperson receives $200 lead or $200 call, and then he's this just sounds good to continue. It sounds really good, but in reality, the sales guy gonna get paid. So San Diego average salary for the sales guy is $4,000, $5,000, because they have to pay for their bills. Actually, even some younger guys with no families, they still have to pay their rent, which is very expensive in here. It's around $2,000-3,000 per month. So this person would have to receive at least $4,000 commission. And keep in mind, if they earn $300,000 a year, they make about $25,000 a month on average. So basically what's going to happen, all his profit, he's already going to pay for this guy, Jacob. to do the sales. Okay, what's gonna happen once the Jacob gonna get the sales? He's gonna get one of the Google leads or some other leads that are Google calls that are cost $100 per call, and then the sales guy gonna be in a meeting with a broker, or he's gonna be answering call from the realtor or whatnot. They're gonna be missing $100 leads. So here's the issue that I see with this. That's first of all, if you hire a full-time salesperson, you have to have at least $50,000 to $60,000 in revenue minimum. So you can hire one person, one local salesperson on every 50,000 of revenue. Okay, now you can go with VAs and overseas people, but that's a different story. Okay, so now here he has to, basically in theory it sounds really good, but in reality we tried this and there can be a lot of difficulties with calling these people and convincing them to recommend you, partially because a lot of these people, partially because the salesperson is, have to pick up sales calls, guys. Yeah, I just want to say something like it does sound really good in theory. In practice, this salesperson probably gonna be very difficult, especially in 25,000 per month in revenue. It's gonna be very difficult to maintain the salesperson unless it's some type of relative or friend of this business owner. By the way, this is 3-4 years ago. This is exactly what we did. We hire a salesperson. We'll say, well, in your free time, if you don't get leads, call these realtors and say, if you recommend us, we get you, this good offer. We take care of you, and it's a price guarantee and refunds, 100% refundable, and so on. And unfortunately, we didn't get any bookings that way. So that sounds good in theory, though. I see how I would agree. If someone told me that thing, I say, yeah, it makes sense. But in reality, very difficult to make it work. Yeah, the thing is, I mean, let me tell you. So here he says long term is gonna have small deliveries. We don't do that no more. It's just no worse. You have to put a minimum 3 hours. So this is 5K minimums. Do we really know these companies who turn in deal $3,000 deal in US? It's very hard to believe that there's a company who turned down $3,000 deal for moving. Let me explain you something. So the thing with the moving is very seasonal and it's very... Alright, so let me explain you something about the moving deal. The moving is very seasonal and very dependent on the date. So there's more moves in the end of the month and on the first, because everyone's leases are up for the apartments, and there's less moves in the middle of the month because no one's moving. So as well as in the summertime, there's a bunch of moves in the June, July, August, and there's no moves in all 9 months, other 9 months of the year, right? So what ends up happening if you focus only on realtors? Believe it or not, for realtors, they have certain patterns too. They usually sell their houses in the middle of the month. So you're gonna see that in order to make a profitable moving company, you need to actually sell those apartments in the end of the month as well. Because if you sell all the trucks in the middle of the month, now in the end of the month, your truck's gonna be just parked in the yard and no one's gonna be working. So in reality, if you want to do it like that, probably you're gonna have to do both, and realtors and apartment complexes. And I don't know personally any company that turned down $3,000 deal or $5,000 deal.
Inside the sales process. So to get any realtor today, you need to go in person to their office to meet all the other realtors in their brokerage, come with donuts, come with whatever, meet the head guy. And so was that a good experience, Kelly? Great. I could get every single one of your agents VIP upgrades for all of our moves for free. That's on me, just because it was so great to work with. And it gives you something that you can kind of have as a nice experience.
So this is really great advice, I would say. Have basically, all right. So this is really great advice, I would say. This is how we did it. Is more than 1,500 visits. Realtors in San Diego area specifically. Only one difficulty with this, I see that sometimes you have very busy days, and it's like a summertime. You have all your trucks busy. Some trucks are breaking down. Some movers are not showing up, and then you have to juggle all that. And then your realtors recommend you this little job that's like $500, and then basically you have to write it down somewhere and actually go take time and buy candies and then go to this realtor's office. And then you're probably gonna have a truck broken down, let's say. You're gonna get dirty, so you're gonna probably get your t-shirt, get your glasses on, I don't know, whichever you wear, and then go to realtor's office and then, you know, do all that. So it's gonna be very difficult to busy time to follow up with people like that. And then a lot of times it slips through the cracks. And then when it slips through the cracks, that's when people stop recommending. So on one side, it's too expensive to have separate people to do this type of things, because it's more like a business development, maybe on 1.5, 2 million per year for revenue. You can afford to hire that person. But on the other side, if you do it yourself, it's very difficult to keep track of this. And then keep in mind also, you're going to have separate numbers for all these realtors, cards or whatever, separate everything, because people are going to call you. They're going to say, well, just get your number on Google. And then it turns out that the realtor recommend them, and so on and so forth. So couple of things. Yeah. Sounds really good, but in reality, you need to work a little bit to make it work. As with everything. Let's continue watching. Yeah, that's pretty much what we have is the same list of 12,000 agents or 2,000 agents or 5,000 agents, and I found that they're not responding on SMS.
Right. So traffic. So there's a couple smaller things that I think are worth doing. So right now, how are you getting the reviews? What's the review process?
So as soon as
Yeah, with the reviews, I generally agree with all the reviews. This is really great advice. Foreman has to go over and say, this would give us a little tip from the owner. Can you please leave it? And also what we do, we have a special deal. We say, well, the helper has to leave a couple blankets outside the customer's house.
On
Yeah, I think so. Did you put the gas? Okay. What's the problem? What's the problem?
I'm just yeah.
Don't forget, you have to pick up the helper tomorrow. At that address. You see, essentially the address. You had to pick up the helper tomorrow. At the address. At the address. Okay, Junior. You good? What happened? Yes. All right, I'll text you. Bye. And was the driver calling. Sound pretty tired. Was asking for gas. All right. Let's go and check.
You know, it's a good experience. Yes. Okay. Well, guys get a little bit from owner. Yes. Do like a before and after. So it literally shows the.
Yeah, this is something that we do. taking pictures of the job before the job starts, so all the furniture, and then after the job, obviously, and then tell customer service assistant she can put the price in there, break down all the services before, after, and if there's reviews, they put a review in that, and she make it in a reel, and then every time people see that type of reel, so it on social media, so it works pretty good.
This is what we did. This is what we went. This is what happened. And they said it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, and we're including things that other people are not mentioning, which are these elements. Which then when we get into the sales process, we ask them questions, but then we ask their preferences, which they didn't think about to differentiate our price.
Yeah, what you're gonna see, 95% of people gonna prefer just the cheapest thing possible right now. And yeah, to the other 5%, try to sell some other stuff.
Step down from VIP to, oh, you don't actually care about those preferences. Oh, you're more on a budget, you don't care about that stuff, fine. Because I promise you're not going to find these things at a different price. Then with our realtors, we're adding in the personalization of the AI. This is going to be more lead gen. This is going to be things such as what's credit fees, right? Brokerages is what I think you should do. The highest leverage thing is you go and get 20 agents at a time. As soon as you get one realtor who responds back, I would go in person. God. Because then it's like you don't just get that, because they're already a unit that can say, but they had 5 other people or 20 other people.
Yeah, this is really good funnel. I mean, like from our perspective, it took us a long time to figure this out, like maybe years, and then we couldn't master it. I hope this guy's gonna make it work, and this is really interesting to look at.
This is my big 20x lever. This is just to enhance that. This is the smallest piece. I wouldn't even obsess about it, but these are the bigger ones. So we can just boost the guys' reviews, just run the Smith client, see big on the support after side, right? I'll be it's going to
full up.
Guys, so what do we see here? Basically, really good advice, really good advice. I think if I was going back in time and tell something to myself at that point, and 300,000, 400, 500,000, I would tell myself to just get all the sources possible. So I would get all the leads. I would get Facebook leads, maybe Google leads, get SEO, postcards, direct mail. Don't forget about direct mail. You can get 25K a month in direct mail. Why no one sells that? You see, this is a industry specific app. Now you get realtors, which is gonna be very interesting to see. Again, depends on the person. We found it in small areas. We know people who work with this a lot, and to be fair, most of them are very people friendly people, and they're very talkative people. Yeah, just pretty good advice. What do I have to add? How much?
you give these guys
All right, guys.
doors things, right?
Yeah.
So there's really no change between that and standard. It's just that if you have standard, you have the option of using cheaper movers if all your bucks on.
Yeah.
Or turn with you back to the return. So objects, then you basically have to walk down the seats of down. Okay.
Less sessions. Yeah. I mean, as an operator with a company.
Same day, you can just say we're going to be 70%. It might be a 30 and all of a sudden a 10% lift.
Well, I tell you, 30% depends on which size, because anything he get over that, where he stops working on truck, is very difficult to get good margins, all the way up to 100 grand a month. So once you hit 100 grand a month, now it's a little more easier to get good margins. But before that, approximately from 25, let's say, to 100, that's where your margins are pretty low, because some of the expenses like CRM, your parking lot, your other things that are very expensive, and they're steady expenses, they're not changing.
Right. So I'll say a day premium, start at 10%, but I want you to go to 20% over time. Then you can basically keep moving up until they say no. So these are different components. We have our A, we have B, we have C. So we're getting little pieces that we can talk on the phone, right?
I have not tapped into every single piece of this.
Yeah, man, generally speaking, it's a really good offer. Really good offer. Yep, I like it. Let's continue.
Every day is refreshing. Whether it's delivering an order to a friendly customer or setting up a new dispenser, we make stick.
Like, wait, what? They're like, oh yeah. I mean, like, I can just take 20 hours to move one thing from here. We're trying to sow seeds of doubt. Like, if they have two things, they're both 100 an hour, 90 an hour, well, they're going to pick the 90. Of course. So we have to be like, oh, okay, got it. So what did trust the other guys? Oh, they didn't mention. Oh, yeah, for sure. If not insured, then yeah, I mean, that's a cost, but I'm assuming is nothing you have valuable. No, I said that. I think that mattered to me. It's like, great. Well, we have insurance that we can include. Do you know what I'm saying with this sale here?
Yeah, it's gonna come down.
Yeah, and we had to get this part here so that when we move to the
It's like brain is going like all over.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Okay. But fundamentally, because this is going to ladder into this, but we have our VIP and we have our standard. We're going to start everyone here.
Yeah.
And then we're going to, if they say, I'm on a budget, we'll say, no worries, we can do this for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so there is something what we notice when you tell them higher price. There's also, it's not like they Right, so about this, like, it seems like this guy is from the world of like sales calls, or like when the people schedule a call and they show up and it takes an hour and they watch this and that. A lot of times when people call for moving, they say they hear the price and they could do what they want. They could just hang up, they can just do bounce and whatnot. And what we notice, we try this thing actually because of this actual person, Alex, who does this offer deal. Will you offer like a higher price and then downsell it? We tried this, but what we noticed, like out of 100 calls, you're gonna have so many people just hang up your phone after they hear that like crazy high price that is just not worth it to mention, because like even you explain them it's professional movers, not this and that. You get packing, you get unpacking, and then you tell them the price, and most of them say, I don't need unpacking, but hang up. I don't need this, hang up. And then after that, you just lose the lead, and after that it's very difficult to get back to getting them a cheaper price, or making them to believe that you can actually give them cheaper price or whatnot. So in theory it sounds great, like downsell. I can see how that works once someone books a call with you, watch the VSL, and you have 1 hour, and then you ask them all different questions. When people just call for moving, it wouldn't work for us. We hope it's gonna work for us. It didn't work for us, we hope it's gonna work for us. So
You were able to talk to all the people who came in on the Google Leads, right?
Yes, every point.
That's great.
The main objection we have is always price.
It's always price if they don't know enough to talk about. Customers will always go to price.
yeah, that's true, because a lot of times you can actually mention like additional services and
Any point
that quick people guy, that's really good.
value.
Really good offer.
The job will take,
Yeah.
and then where the truck is going to be parked.
We still want to walk through these other people part. And if you go with us today, I'll include the master movers, I'll include materials, and I'll include the insurance.
If they do full service like packing, if they get packed for the delegate with the materials for you. So that is the offer you were talking about.
Yeah. Okay. And if they're like, oh, I can't do that, then it's like, okay, we will still do it, but we're going to be in conversation with more detail. I just want to give you bullets.
That would match our reviews will be their price, because they don't exist.
No,
it's not.
Yeah, but that's not, they're like, yeah, but
Well, actually, you'd be surprised. I mean, there's a lot of like company on Yale that has like 1 or 2 trucks or 3 trucks, and then there's just a couple of friends that open a company and they work themselves, and they have 3, 4, 500 5-star reviews. They have like all these crazy ratings. So that's the other reason that there's so many movers in this market and not enough clients, as he said, and it's very difficult to convince people on all this type of deal. We got reviews with the best, we got the best movers, we got this and that. Very difficult.
which just being the value surpassing it. Which is, if these things matter to you, we're the only shop in town that does it. if you don't care about having ex-cons in your house, and again, I have no beef with ex-cons, but people have perceptions, right? If you have no issues with ex-cons and you plan on doing the packing yourself, and you're okay with them potentially breaking it because they're not insuring anything, which honestly, it happens 25% of moves.
Yeah.
And if you're the 3 out of 4, it's great. If you're the 1 out of 4, it's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Right? And if you have no cap and you don't care, because I can come in at $10 an hour if you want, and I'll just take a week. They can say we're not. Then I get to explain.
Can take a long time.
So what this is called is shifting from local to global, right? So like you're thinking about this.
Really good, good stuff.
This will get you the deals you're losing. You're losing a price because they have nothing else to say. They're doing apples to apples. You're like, oh, it's apples and oranges. But it's totally fair that they're charging less because they're not doing all this stuff. Which by all means, if you want us to not do that stuff, I can't, because I have to have a level of service to see out reviews. I'm not willing to sacrifice my reputation for that. Some people are though, because they're in and out of the industry.
Yeah.
They come in, they just start moving, for short periods of time. You need to show up in person to their office to meet all the other realtors in their brokerage. Come with donuts, come with whatever. Meet the head guy.
Yeah, so with this realtor thing, we tested these realtors in this area in San Diego. I want to say something. So we tested 500 realtors. We visited them 3 times, so it's 1,500 visits. We visited maybe every realtor that's possible to visit in this area. We visited them just with cards to, offer a friendship, let's say, and offer free boxes, whatever for their clients. Type of offer. We visited them with a piece of candy one other time, and then we also visited them with something else. I don't remember. We spent around 10 or 15 business lunches, $500 each, where we collected all the cards from realtors, and we follow up with them, make sure they can recommend us to their potential clients. And what ends up happening it was not too great of a return on investment, just because we found that like 95% of realtors do not sell their houses. So there's only top realtors who sell like 3, 4, 5 houses. So those are worth following up, I will say, because if you follow up with all the realtors and then just wait until they sell their house, they never sell their house, unfortunately. So we found out that we wanna follow up mainly with realtors who sell at least one house in the past, and you can find that statistics on one of the websites online. So you can only follow up with realtors who actually sell their houses, because realtors who do not sell their houses, they're not gonna recommend you. And also we found out that there's a lot of stuff going on with realtors, because realtors sometimes they have their nephew who has a truck, and then they do their moving themselves. They do all the realtors have a staging company, and now it's a conflict of interest, because now they want to do staging and then they want to do moving as well, on top of sell the house. So they just do everything themselves. So a lot of times you're gonna see stuff like that. Now a lot of times you're gonna see these realtors already have preferred vendor that they've been together with like for 5-10 years, that pays all the sponsored lunches, and then they do not accept new vendors for that. So it does sound easy if it was like a blue ocean, no one's doing it, but it is a little less profitable in my opinion, and from my experience and from all our friends who did it, it was a little bit less profitable in our area, in San Diego area. Though I want to mention something, in some different areas, like maybe smaller towns where maybe there's total of 100 realtors when you can go visit everyone. I know people have really good results, or maybe in some different cities people did have good results where they can go and actually visit each single realtor. But in San Diego, I think it's about 5,000 realtors, so something like that. So, which is huge number, but a lot of them would not be selling houses for now. So that's my take on realtors. I think you gotta be careful who you visit. You need to visit preferably realtors who actually book the job. Yeah, so those are called realtor sponsored lunches. They offer you to pay $500 and then pitch in front of all the realtors on their quarterly meeting, and then you could actually go and do that, or on the other side you can try to just bring them donuts and be their friend, and it depends on what kind of social skills you have and if you actually want to go do it yourself. I found for me easier it might be just figuring out Facebook and putting certain money towards Facebook ads. Like say you put 5,000 towards Facebook ads in this month and you get the same amount of revenue. But this is also you can compare it because these jobs are really bigger jobs, and this is something that has bigger jobs. Okay, so about the Instagram, yeah, you need to send an Instagram to realtors because you can't email them. They don't respond. Some people say they have success with emailing them and texting. We personally didn't have too much success with emailing. We do email them all the time. We did pick up a couple jobs here and there, but not too much success. So with Instagram, you could, every realtor you're gonna see is on Instagram, so you could do different things. We started making this thing when we pull up the listing on Zillow, and every listing has a picture, so you can review, you can have the salesperson review those listings every day. Usually in San Diego is 20-30 listings, and then you can review them and say, well, your estimated amount of hours would be 8 hours, you need 1 truck or 2 trucks, 2-3 movers. What's your estimated amount? And this is the free offer that we got, free 50 boxes. And then they tag the realtor on Instagram, see if that house is having a realtor recommending. So that's something that you can do as well.
Look up the like a
Also, the thing with the MailChimp that he mentioned is like an email software. Those emails have really crazy open rates, but also very important to get response back from the realtors.
Why do you need an
experience? Yes.
Totally agree with all the reviews. He's 100% right. We are not actually doing that. Just want to mention something that is less scalable. If you're not the one who pushing the movers every day to get reviews, you can obviously create a bonus system, but you have to have someone like an ops manager or some type of person who fill out all this bonus system, all this review system every day, because if you start skipping it, they stop, your foremen stop collecting reviews from clients, and then there's no more reviews going on. So this is a little less scalable if you go further.
Okay. Well, now what do you want?
Yeah, so here he says it's gonna be 5 jobs a month from every one brokerage that he can get as a preferred vendor. We found that that is not a correct number. All right, so here he was saying that every brokerage has like 6 realtors. We found that that's a little bit further from truth, because if you get, most of the realtors don't sell anything, and then it's going to be difficult to become the preferred vendor. Even if you become a preferred vendor, it takes a lot of time to follow up with people so they can recommend you on time. But that's totally can be done. But we found this more like a 1 job in quarter. If you have the brokerage, maybe 1, 2, 3 jobs in quarter can be done with that for us. Maybe she can do better. All right, so before I go, I want to say something else, that this is really good. If I was giving myself advice about this, what should I do when I had 1 truck or 2 trucks? If I was watching back in the day and say, what should I do? I would recommend myself to start some things like doing reviews, but also doing some marketing as direct mail marketing. They can go up to 20-25K a month just from simple process of sending direct mail. Now you have Facebook ads. If you figure out Facebook ads, you can get 20-25K a month as a Facebook ads. Now, if you, I would recommend myself also stop doing all this Craigslist, all this different stuff that requires personal, or this may be like a leads that are not perfect. Maybe sometimes that's on the cheaper side customer, and start doing this realtors outreach, as well as obviously you need to continue doing storages, apartments, and older people facilities. So all four. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm surprised that he didn't mention anything about direct mail. Direct mail is this money in moving right now, in my opinion. You do send the same list every day for years, and you get 25K a month like a clock. You don't need to change any designs, any tactics, offers, anything crazy. You send the same thing for years and you get 25K a month like a clock. Facebook, and then affiliates, and then all the different type of ads and leads that you can do. Also, we do have really good results with leads going from Southern California to Northern California. So it's a once in San Diego watching that, you can just go buy, let's say $5,000 per month or however many dollars you can leads to San Francisco from San Diego, and back from San Francisco back to San Diego, and get another 25 to 30,000 a month of those jobs. So this way you can work in around 100,000 a month, and this way you can actually start making a little better profit for yourself, that you can purchase a house or whichever is this guy's goal. Really good video. Those people very easy to watch, really nice. So I wish good luck to this person. I hope that helps for someone who's watching this, my comments, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.